Hi everyone, welcome to Making Things with String, my crafty YouTube channel. My name is Kate, my pronouns are she, her, and I am coming to you from Nova Scotia, Canada. So happy December everybody. Today is December 18th. It's been a little over a month or about a month since my last video, which has been pretty typical for me. Unless you count shorts, I have been doing YouTube shorts as well as Instagram reels every day. I'll talk a little bit more about that project that I am showing every day later on in the video, but if you haven't checked that out, feel free to if you'd like to kind of see my progress through that piece until the 25th of this month. Today I'm going to talk to you about some cross-stitch updates that I have, as well as some knitting and crochet that I have been up to this month. I'm going to start the video today with a bunch of exciting little finishes, some fully finishes of some ornaments, some cross-stitch ornaments that I've done. So the first one that I want to talk about, this is actually a start and a finish since my last video. So most of these ornaments you'll have seen before, the stitched pieces finished. I've just fully finished them. But this piece here called Bright Spirits, I started since my last video and also fully finished it since then. So I've got this sparkly green fabric on the back and sort of mustard cording around that. So this pattern is called Bright Spirits. It's by Heartstring Samplery, and I believe it's from the first Jingle Ball Baubles book from 2022, which was the first year that they had the Jingle Ball, and I got this at that event. I did attend the Jingle Ball earlier this year. That was my third time attending Jingle Ball. And I had a lot of fun at Jingle Ball this year, just like I always do. I wasn't able to participate quite as fully as I usually do. Usually I watch some of the content in the main ballroom, the pre-recorded stuff. I also really love going to the meet and greet, like Q&A sessions with the designers, and I did both of those things this year as well. But I didn't jump into any of the stitchy rooms this year. There was just not as much like quiet, chill stitching time where I felt able to be like on camera. So I kept it to mostly camera off, like viewing rather than active engagement. So I did miss the stitching tables this year. I'll definitely try and pop into them next year. I also didn't purchase as many things this year, so I will go over what I got at the Jingle Ball a little bit later. I'll kind of go through a lot of the free patterns that I downloaded, as well as a couple little charts that I purchased, but I was trying to be good, so I didn't buy as much. Anyways, I was stitching on this during Jingle Ball weekend, and I started and finished it in one day. It's very cute, quick little stitch. This will go over the neck of a bottle of wine that I'm gifting this Christmas, but doubles as an ornament after the fact. So really love this cute little pattern, stitches up really quick. This, I used some DMC, not the called for flosses from the chart, so I just kind of found some DMC from my stash that worked. And this is stitched on a 36 count linen. The colorway is called Avocado Toast, and the linen is by thesewingshop.ca. You'll have seen this. I've been stitching some of my Stitch for Pride pieces on this same linen. So that is my first little fully finished ornament. The next one is one that you'll have seen before. I don't think you've seen it fully like stitched. Definitely haven't seen it fully finished. This is my Mill Hill Christmas Eve kit that I had been stitching with Julia. So hopefully we'll have a clip somewhere in this video of an update from Julia. She has also fully finished her her version of this piece, and so have I. So we both have them hanging on our trees. I just backed it with some mustard colored felt, put a little navy blue ribbon on it, and called it a day. But yeah, I have finished stitching this since the last video, I believe, and there's lots of beads all over. You can see the beads on the roof really well, but there's also beads like all through the snow and in the tree, and a cute little moon button on that. So that's all done as well. This is just the Mill Hill kit, stitched with all the kit materials. All right, let's go with this one next. I have also finished, I had kind of like an ornament finishing party the other day, and just had all my ornament finishing supplies out on the table, and we watched some TV, and I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ornaments. Here's the next one. This is called Season's Greetings. Pattern by Teresa Kogut, my first ever Teresa Kogut pattern. And this is also from one of the Jingle Ball Baubles books. I think it's from 2023, the second Baubles book. I finished stitching this earlier this year, and yeah, I finished it with this cute little trim that I got in like a trim pack from Michaels, and this beautiful floral fabric on the back. Season's Greetings. And another square little ornament finish is this Gingerbread House. This is Gingerbread House 1 from Country Cottage Needleworks. Very similar finish to that Season's Greetings. Some mustard fabric on the back with some white rickrack with like a gold detailing through it. I believe Season's Greetings, by the way, was just stitched with some DMC from my stash, so a little DMC conversion of mine. This was stitched with called for threads, except for the house was stitched with a Roxy Floss Co. color called Annie. So cute. Again, I finished this earlier this year, stitching it, but I fully finished it the other day. Next up, I've got another little Mill Hill kit. This honey pot kit, which is so cute. This is the first Mill Hill kit that I ever stitched. And I started this on New Year's Eve last year for my New Year's Eve 12 by 12, and I finished it fairly quickly after that. But you can see the shimmer and shine of all the beads on this one as well. That same little navy blue ribbon that I used on my other Mill Hill kit that I just showed you. So cute. And last but not least, one final Jingle Ball Bauble ornament. Look at this. Can you hear the jingle bells? This is a Jingle Ball Bauble book entry from Satsuma Street. This is from the first Jingle Ball Baubles book. And it is so cute. So it's these 3 individual little bells that were stitched separately on perforated paper. I backed them all with some red felt. They've each got a little jingle bell attached to the bottom of them, and then they're attached together with a little piece of ribbon, which I also used up here. I love this. It's so cute. I love Satsuma Street's vibrant colors, and this is just a really cute finish. Yeah, love this quite a lot. I had to buy these cute little jingle balls, these little Jingle bells. I needed 3 of them, and at Michael's they came in a packet of 70, so I have 67 more jingle bells that I can use for some undetermined purpose in the future. Cool, so those are all my finishes. A bunch of fully finished ornaments, very typical for me of this time of year. I like to stitch ornaments a lot. I stitch them like throughout the year, and then I just like delay fully finishing them. But it works out because I get all my materials out, I finish a whole bunch of stuff, put all the materials away. So I like that. All right, let's talk about a couple new starts. And the first one I have already mentioned briefly when I was talking about my reels. So Julie and I both are stitching the Holiday Countdown Sal, the Nordic Holiday Countdown Sal, which is a collaboration between Modern Folk Embroidery, Evertote, and Roxy Floss Co. I and Julia both just ordered the cards only with the pattern, so the full box comes with a beautiful skein of Roxy Floss Co. every single day, but I didn't get that, so I am stitching it on my own little fabric and floss conversion. And ooh, I think I'm gonna need something to put behind this. Maybe I'll need to use this, which I will also show you after. But here's where I am so far on this stitch along. So I haven't quite finished the stitching for today. This border down here needs to be finished, but otherwise I'm caught up. I'm stitching it on a 18 count navy blue Aida, just as Weigart navy blue Aida. And as you can see, I've chosen a palette consisting of some blues and some tans and browns. If you're interested in specifically what colors I'm using, let me know and I can let you know. But I'm basically just looking each day at the little piece of pattern that I get and deciding which colors I should stitch it in. I'm really liking how it is turning out so far for the most part. There's sort of like one really dark blue that I'm using that's almost the same color as the fabric that doesn't really show up super well, so I'm not really sure about that, but I kind of like having some of the colors melding in with the fabric a little bit so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this a lot. I really love the full box. I love the palette of colors every year that you get when you purchase the box. And I do think that the resulting pattern is really beautiful. For me though, it's a bit like colorful. So I like the idea of choosing a more limited palette and stitching with that. So I have like 7 colors, I think, to choose from here, as opposed to if you're stitching it with the full box, you'd be stitching 25 different colors into it. But you can still do this kind of thing with the full box, just kind of pick and choose fewer colors, and so you collect the skeins of floss but don't necessarily stitch them into your project if you also like this more limited palette. But yeah, I also really love how it's turning out with the full 25 different colors too. That's a lot of fun. This is my second year participating in this stitch along. I skipped last year and I participated in 2022. The first year, I think the first year that they had it. So that's just some DMC threads, 1 strand of thread over 1 fabric thread on that 18 count Aida. All right, so next we're going to talk about my works in progress, or WIPs. First, as always, I would love to update you on my progress on Needs No Paint. This is a chart by Heaven and Earth Designs. The art is by Jill Clare. Beautiful piece that I've been working on since 2019, I believe. Last time that I showed this to you in November, I was 85.8% complete. I had stitched 71,918 stitches. Here is what it's looking like now. You can see here I've made some progress down into these sort of wispy tail areas primarily compared to the last time that you saw this. I have not done a lot over here. So I think I mentioned this in my video, but I'm leaving this sort of interior body full coverage stitching to the end. I'm going to try and stitch these wispy hairs down at the bottom first because they're a little more fiddly to stitch. So now I am at 88.14% complete and have stitched 73,858 stitches. That means that since I last showed it to you, I have stitched 1,940 stitches, which is a lot less than I planned to have stitched. But I've just been really busy stitching, knitting, and crocheting for Christmas gifts. So I have been kind of waiting on this one. However, soon, within like a week, I'll have given all my Christmas gifts, and so I'll be able to focus on this. And I do have 2 weeks off starting at the end of this week from work, so I am still gonna try and get this done as close to the end of this year as I possibly can. So we'll see if I can get it done or not. I have 9,937 stitches left, so about 10,000 stitches, which is a lot, although I am stitching this 2 strands over 1 fabric thread tent stitch. So they're half stitches, which means that doing that number of stitches is a little bit faster. It's about twice as fast as it would be if they were full cross stitches. This is, by the way, a 28 count white even weave, and I'm stitching it with the called for DMC thread. So that's where we are. I am hoping that very soon this will be fully done. The stitching will be fully done. Who knows when I'll get a frame for it, but I think after working on it for 5 years, it deserves to get a frame as soon as possible. So we'll see. I may need to wash it again. The cat, I think, was laying on it because there's actually some cat hairs on here. So definitely will give it a wash before, framing it, but I might give it a wash before I even work on it again. We'll see. Anyways, that's my progress on Needs No Paint. So very much looking forward to finishing this piece that has been ongoing on this channel since I started, and I've been working on it for a couple of years even before that. So really exciting. All right, so next up I would like to give you a look at my progress on Ophelia. This is a pattern by Mirabilia that I'm working on. And November was Nora November, and Nora Corbett is the designer behind Mirabilia. So I wanted to get some work on Ophelia done during Nora November. So I did pull this out. That's another reason why I didn't get as much stitching done on Needs No Paint as maybe I could have. Before showing you what she looks like right now, I'm going to show you some footage of what Ophelia looked like the last time that you saw it. And here is what it's looking like now. Oh, I got to do the background thing again. There we go. Here is what she looks like now. So this is very exciting progress because she has a face, and I have backstitched her face as well as backstitched around her hands. So she looks a lot more like a human person than she ever has instead of just random blobs of non-backstitched color. So really, really loving working on this. I, still have a ton of progress, a ton of work to do on this piece because she is huge. The top half of the pattern that I'm working on now is not as densely stitch heavy as the bottom half of the pattern, which is this gigantic dress that she's wearing. But I really like working on this quite a lot. It's fun. And I have 2 Nora Corbett patterns waiting in the wings that I would love to get started at some point. So I'm hoping to put some more focus on this piece soon and get it done eventually, but who knows how long that will actually take. I am stitching this with all the called for DMC, and there's some Karen water lilies in there, and eventually there will be a bunch of beads as well, although I haven't added any of those yet. And this is being stitched on, it's being stitched on a 32 count olive green Lugana from Zweigart. So I love this piece. But she's going away for now. We'll see when she comes back. So 2 more things. I'm kind of done showing you cross stitch updates, but I wanted to talk about 2 more cross stitch related things before moving on to knitting and crochet. First is I wanted to talk a little bit about WIPGO. You may have noticed, but I've kind of stopped paying attention to WIPGO. I just had a lot of like monthly things that I was trying to get done this year, and just like wasn't getting them all done. So yeah, I kind of stopped intentionally using that to decide what to stitch. Instead, I've been focusing on Needs No Paint, and I've been focusing on finishing other WIPs. So if you watch some of my more recent videos, you'll see some kind of finishes that I had been focusing on with respect to that. So yeah, I guess my update is that I've officially kind of dropped WIPGO, and I don't think I'm going to make a WIPGO board for next year. I love WIPGO. I think it's a great idea. But as I'm kind of trying to decrease my overall number of WIPs, having 25 different things in a year doesn't really make sense, because I'll have to kind of put everything on there more than once. And so I would just rather kind of pick and choose what I want to work on. So yeah, I don't know. Good luck to everybody who is engaging with WIPGO in 2025. It is a lot of fun to do WIPGO. So I hope that you enjoy it. And I love watching other people's progress on WIPGO, but I personally have decided not to do WIPGO in 2025, and haven't really been paying attention to or keeping up with it in 2024 too much either. So yeah, that's my sort of update about WIPGO. Another thing I wanted to do was show you the patterns that I purchased / downloaded at Jingle Ball. So this is sort of a haul, but these patterns, most of them were free. So they were just free downloads available in the shops for the different designers at Jingle Ball. So first of all, I downloaded the 2024 Jingle Ball ornament. It's this very cute Santa image. There's sort of 2 Santa faces you can choose from, stitch them separately. You might even be able to stitch them together though if you wanted. They're very, very cute, and I have seen them stitched up at least once already. Really, really like that little ornament. So looking forward to getting on that. I also downloaded, I think that Lindy Stitches designed that Jingle Ball ornament. Yes, that's right. Another one that I downloaded was from the Tiny Modernist shop. She was providing a free stitch. It's called Foxy Snow Globe. So it's a cute little fox lady dressed in some winter gear, standing next to a Christmas tree under a snow globe. Very, very cute. I love Tiny Modernists, so hopefully I'll get to stitch that at some point. I downloaded a couple things from the Blue Flower. This first one I'm going to talk about is called Quilber. This was not a free pattern. I think it was only like $2 though, and proceeds from the purchase of that chart go towards supporting Quilber, who is an actual porcupine that she interviewed at a local, I don't know if it was a zoo or like animal preserve or whatever, but there was part of the video at the Jingle Ball was this interview with Quilber, and so I was inspired to donate to support Quilber and receive this cute little cross stitch pattern in exchange. So hopefully I'll be stitching up Quilber, and Quilber goes really nicely with some of the other Blue Flower ornament pieces that I have in my stash from previous Jingle Ball Baubles books. So some of them I haven't stitched yet. But in addition, it goes really well with the Festive Fruit Bat, which I downloaded. This is another freebie available from the Blue Flowers booth at the Jingle Ball. So that's another one that I got. I also downloaded the freebie from the Hello from Liz Matthews shop. This one's called Mini, Merry, and Bright. This is sort of a little mini version with some motifs from two of the patterns that the two of the exclusive patterns that she put out for the Jingle Balls. So I downloaded the free version. Very cute. There was also a gift chart from Hands on Design that accompanied a sun-dried tomato orzo bake recipe. The pattern itself is this cute little bell and bow hanging below some foliage. Yeah, so that's a cute little freebie that I downloaded as well. From Heartstring Samplery, I downloaded a free little pattern called Bee Spicy, and it's this sort of bumblebee themed ornament that also incorporates gingerbread men and a gingerbread house. It looks very cute, so excited to try stitching that. I also got the Brave New Year pattern by Heartstring Samplery. I do believe this was a paid for version or a paid for chart, and yeah, I don't know, the pattern just spoke to me. It's a very like traditional looking sampler. It says a brave new year along the top, courage and charity along each side, and then there's a spot for the year. I don't know, I just liked it, and it felt kind of hopeful to me. So that's the thing I like about it. A lot of people do, what's it called? You do like a sampler in January. You try to like finish a sampler in January. I thought maybe this could be something that could be finished in January. It's like a blessing sampler, I think is the name of it. And then the idea is if you start it and finish it in January, then you kind of put a blessing on your stitching for the year or on you for the year. I'm not entirely sure about the lore there. But this is potentially something that I might stitch up in that way to kind of just like give a bit of hope to the year, positivity. Yeah, so those are the things that I purchased at Jingle Ball / mostly free downloads that I just downloaded from the Jingle Ball. Like I said, I'm trying to save money, trying not to spend a whole lot of money on cross stitch. I've got a lot of cross stitch patterns, so I was trying to be good. I didn't even get the Jingle Ball Baubles book, which I have gotten the past 2 years, and it's not because the patterns that were in there are not amazing and cute. I do think that they are amazing and cute. But there's still a bunch from the 2023 Baubles book that I haven't stitched yet, and so I just thought, I'm just not gonna get it this year. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, okay. One more thing that I would like to show you before I move on to knitting is something that I made, and I'm very proud of it. I made this project bag. I sewed it, you guys, on my sewing machine. this, I'm gonna unzip it, is a fully lined interfaced project bag. I followed Elizabeth Ann Stitch's original project bag tutorial, which I will link down below if you want to see that. But I'll link a couple other project bag sewing videos that I watched as well that were helpful. Especially the video by Corey Creates. It's long, but it had so many really good details and tips about making project bags. So that is something that I've been wanting to try for a while. I bought this fabric, these 3 different fabrics quite a while ago, thinking they might make a cute project bag. But I made this one for Julia. So hopefully I'll be giving this to her tonight, and therefore once this video is posted, she'll already have seen it. But yeah, she doesn't have any project bags yet, so I thought I would try my hand at making them and give one to her. And then I've got enough material to make a similar bag like this for myself. So I've already cut pieces so that this tree pattern, this green tree pattern, will be on the front, and then this yellow leaf pattern will be this small section here and all along the back, and then the lining will be the same cute little flowers, little yellow flowers. So I'm really proud of this. Like I know how to sew, and I've sewn things in the past, but I don't do this very often, and I have never made a project bag before. I've never sewn something inside out that needs to be birthed or like flipped right side out. And I think I did a pretty good job. Also, I don't have a zipper foot for my sewing machine, so I sewed this zipper in just with a regular, whatever foot was on my sewing machine is what I used. It seemed fine. I don't know, why do you need a zipper foot? Does it just help you stay straight? I don't know. Anyway, I didn't need it apparently. So here's my project bag, really proud of it. The interfacing I've used, I think, is like a little bit thicker than what people tend to use, but I couldn't find the specific one that is recommended both by Elizabeth Ann Stitch and by Corey of Corey Creates. So I just found the one that they had at my Fabricville that looked the closest. But it's maybe a little bit stiffer, but it was fine. Yay. Okay, let's talk about some knitting. So last time I showed you a pair of socks that I was working on. I think I had finished one of these socks. I have now finished both of them. So this is a complete pair of pretty vanilla socks, just sort of straight knit all the way down with a heel flap and gusset, and contrasting heel and toe. The yarn is by Nerds with Needles, which is a local to me Halifax yarn dyer. And that is them. So completed one pair of socks. I've started another pair of socks. So I am past the heel turn on this first sock of this pair. This is not, strictly speaking, Hermione's Everyday Sock. It's not the exact pattern, but this pattern of knits and purls on the leg is from that pattern. Otherwise, I just used my own kind of recipe for 2x2 rib on the cuff, heel flap and gusset. And again, I'm doing a contrasting toe and heel. These yarns I got from 3 Bags Full, a yarn shop in Moncton, New Brunswick. Let's see. I believe, okay, so one of them is Ancient Yarns, Secret Agent, and one of them is Riverside Studio, and it's called Trail. So I believe that the main color I'm using is the Ancient Arts Secret Agent. It's like a very light brown grayish color, and again that one's called Secret Agent. And then I'm knitting the toe and the heel with this Riverside Studio Trail colorway, which is sort of like a natural cream, predominantly natural cream color with some yellow and some like blue speckles and even a few little red and orange speckles in there. So really cute. I believe they're both superwash merino fingering. So the Ancient Arts is 80% superwash fine merino, 20% nylon. It's fingering sock weight yarn. And the Riverside Studio is all superwash merino nylon sock. It says superwash merino nylon sock, so I don't know the percentage, it doesn't say. But yeah, loving these. Always good to have a sock on the go, right? I always knit my socks with the same size needle. I think it's a size 1. Yeah, 2.25 millimeters. Right now I'm using just a 9-inch Chiaogu 9-inch circular. But when I get to the heel flap and the toe, I switch to like a 40-inch circular needle of the same size and brand. And sometimes I knit the socks with magic loop with those needles, like the whole sock. But sometimes I like my little 9-inch circulars. They're a little bit less unwieldy, but I find this is a little bit harder on my hand and I'm a little bit slower, strangely slower knitting with these. Last time I showed you my progress on a Sweet Shop blanket that I'm knitting for my nephew, and I am pretty much done except this one square I have not woven in the ends. So let me back up a bit and show you this. Ooh, still not fully in frame. Ooh, here we go. There it is. So that blanket is done. Just need to tie in the ends and wash it and block it. And then it will be ready for my little nephew, who will hopefully like it as much as the other blanket that I knit him, which is his current blankie and is not doing very well. Needs to be replaced. So, of course, I couldn't just knit something for nephew when there is also niece. So I decided to crochet something for her. Her mother had actually sent me a link to an image of a toy hammock, a crocheted toy hammock, a long time ago. And so I finally crocheted that for my niece. So it's quite big. You could use it as like a triangular shawl if you wanted to. I'll let her know. She can do that if she wants. But also you just hang this up from the corner in your room and pile up your stuffies in there. So I've got like a light sort of lavender purple, icy blue Elsa color, and then a minty green color as well. Hopefully she will like this little color combo. And I'll try and put a link to this pattern. It was free if you didn't mind hanging out on her heavily advertised website, or you can purchase it. You can purchase a PDF download as well. But this was quick, didn't take too much time. I love crochet for that reason. This yarn was all Karen Simply Soft yarn for both this blanket and this hammock and the blanket that I knit for my nephew. I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if I get a little clip with Julia, hopefully I will put that in at some point. And yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I'm not sure if I will be back before the new year or not. People are doing whip parades, so that's something that I could do, and I do have some time off to allow for those kinds of things to happen. But I did pretty recently do a whip parade, so we shall see. But if I do get Needs No Paint finished, I will almost certainly come back to show that off. So not entirely sure when I will see you next. In case it is not before then, Happy New Year. And thanks for watching. Bye. See you in the next one.